There, done. Hey, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Michelle Murakami. I'm an artist.
Hi,
in
Karen
Fairview.
Fox. I'm a photographer. I am Cheryl Speed, a member of the Fairview Arts Council.
It is really important that you surround yourself with the kind of people that help you believe that you can do things.
My name is Aaron Graham, and I make art inspired by drawings I made when I was a kid.
Hi, my name is Jackie Nickler, and we're here in beautiful Cooley.
A town that reinvests in the arts is a town that is fully alive.
Fairview Arts Council at this very unique time. I've chosen to be outside on this beautiful Tennessee day. My name is Lee Crow, and I am with Crossroads Academy of the Arts.
I think we're all looking for a place to go. We're all looking for an outlet.
Hi, my name is Sabrina Edwards, and I'm with my husband Sid. We make stained glass.
Stop worrying about what isn't and start changing what is.
Go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm Susan Gully, and I've been in Fairview for close to 33 years now.
Hi. It's John and Lauren D'Amato. We have D'Amato Music School and Fairview Guitar.
Immediately jumped in because I needed to connect with artists. I was here by myself, no family, not knowing anybody, and that was the first thing that really was I got involved in when I got here to Fairview, and it's been really nice being a part of it and growing along with the organization. It's been an opportunity to make new friends and connect with other artists and of different types, everything from painters and people that draw and musicians and theater groups and everything. So that's made it a really nice combination and worthwhile being here in Fairview, that's for sure.
We're growing, we're changing, because we are trying to do something good. We are trying to create a community where people help each other and collaborate and teach and inspire and grow. We are trying to bring creative people together and raise the visibility of the arts.
Good morning, everyone. It is a big day for the Fairview Arts Council and a big weekend. None of today is happening here, so I'm actually going to start walking and talk while I walk. Here's the mural. Here's what we're doing. We're going to be live streaming as much as we can today so that you can be a part of the process. We are here at 1712 Fairview Boulevard, the State Farm building, and we are going to be here until 5 o'clock. There's still a lot that can be painted, but I just want to show you the Fairview dog made it into the mural. I think that's awesome. All right. We are so thrilled that the community showed up for us. We are grateful to Beverly Toddy for helping us make this happen. Aaron Graham and Michelle Murakami headed up the team that made this possible, and they did a flawless job. I can't imagine it having gone better. Hello everyone, we are here with another Fairview live stream. We are going to be talking to several different people today, the first of which is Alexis Anderson. We're very excited about that. We have an audience today, that is new for us. We are very sorry that we're late. We had a few technical difficulties this morning and tried to get it together, but a big part of doing this is to get out of our comfort zones, to try new things, to use the technology that is available to us to try to connect better who we have around us, the makers and the creators, the artists and musicians, to the community. So we're going to keep trying. We get a little bit better every time, and we thank you for participating with us and being patient. So I'm here with Alexis Anderson. You have beneath Twisted Ferns.
It's okay. We
I
get
said I
Beneath
didn't
Twisted
need my notes
Farms.
over there.
Yeah,
But
it's okay. It's okay. We get mixed up a lot with other names. It's totally
right. Well, we actually first met at the craft fair at the park. The city put on one that was after the Bowie Park, right?
Yes.
After the Nature Fest.
Yes.
Sorry, I've totally spaced out. Technical difficulties caused
okay.
like all of the thoughts to get.
It was a busy day.
It
was
was,
glad we got to
yeah.
meet that day. It was a lot of fun.
Yours was one of the booths that I think most of us kept circling. Like we'd circle and then come back and you know, so I think a lot of us ended up buying something before we left.
It's okay. We're very thankful for those kinds of events.
Yeah. But your work is beautiful. How long have you been working on art?
Since I was born, probably. There's lots of pictures of me messing with messy projects, making mud pies, and in the kitchen messing with flower drawing and those kinds of things. But I really think it came from my mother, who always tried to encourage us to be very artistic and have a lot of fun with that kind of thing. So for a long time.
So was art always the thing that you thought that you would do?
It was always on the back burner. It was something that I always tried to apply to what I thought my career would be. But finally realized last year that I think it's something that I tried to avoid. I never realized that it could be my actual career. So I finally decided to pursue that at the beginning of last year, and it's been an incredible journey so far.
So now this is your job. This
Yes.
is your full-time thing.
Full
That is,
time.
it's one of those things that's significant because there's so many of us in that transitionary state
Mm-hmm.
where that's really the dream, is to take the thing that you love and turn it into something that that's where you spend your time. So how has that been? And what was it like
Amazing.
before? Like, were you constantly working on it? Was it something that you just played around with?
Before, it was something that it was always in my downtime. It was something that I tried to make time to do more of, but I never seemed to really understand just how much I needed it.
Yeah.
I applied art to every job that I had, and the longer I spent going through life, the more I realized that this is, I need to follow this in some form or another, and I finally just went for it head on, and it really it's been what I think I'm supposed to do. So
Yeah.
it's been really amazing.
So you do acrylics.
I do
Right.
a little bit of everything.
Right.
I like to sculpt things with clays. I like to use airbrush. I like to use oil paint, acrylic, watercolor, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I feel like with my art, I can fit just about every single thing in there, and I have to tell myself to calm down a lot of times, to not go into pottery and don't get into glass work, and slow down just a little
There's
bit.
some
Yeah.
laughter over here
Yeah.
from our next guest, Karen Fox. We all have that problem of, seeing that creative thing and wanting to try that. And for me, it's the new creative ideas are so fueling. They give you more ideas and more ideas. And so it's hard to say no.
Yeah.
It's hard to pass it up. And we're always trying new things here.
Yes.
So, yeah, we saw a lot of different types of work represented in the display that you had at the craft fair. It was really beautiful. And I love the fact that there's like a whimsical sort of, you can't see this one behind me. Can you see this one behind me? There's kind of a, when I lean my head, you can see it. Other way? Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
You can see there's a little bit of a fantasy feel to a lot of what you do. A lot of it has that fantastical feel.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to incorporate nature and color is probably those two things are my biggest inspiration. So I tried to include that. Most of the time I don't even mean to, it just kind of happens. So
Right.
I think that means that I'm kind of on the right track, but
Right.
it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Definitely a good thing.
So what's your favorite, do you have a favorite medium? Like if you...
I really like watercolor, which seems, I remember as a kid and I always thought, man, watercolor's so dumb.
It
I always
is,
thought
yeah.
it was so dumb.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's not. It's really fantastic, and usually the way that you see it portrayed is pastel, and it's kind of just
Right.
faint. And I always thought, man, why do people always why is it so mute and small?
Yeah.
And the more that I messed with it, I would just do layer and layer over artwork, and I realized that it doesn't have to be that. It can be just as realistic and vivid as anything else, as long as you put the time in. And like this, my logo was actually done in watercolor, and I really like watercolor. I never realized how much I really did appreciate its forgiving nature. It's wonderful.
It is more forgiving, I think, than people realize. But it is one of those things that you have to have a relationship with it. You have to want to like be a part of the experience with it. Whereas an acrylic or an oil or a lot of things, you can just paint right over. If it doesn't work in watercolor, it takes finesse. It takes really trying to understand and work with what you get, which is what we do in life, right? So
I feel like I have a good relationship with art. But I've been working on my art relationship for 24 years now. So the longer you put time into your art relationship, the better your art will be. So some people, they'll sit down with a brush for 5 minutes and then wonder, man, why am I not a good artist? And it's really because you haven't worked on your art relationship. You haven't put in a lot of time.
That is really important, because that is something that I get a lot is I wish I could draw like you. I wish I could paint like you. So you said you've been doing this from the beginning.
Yes.
Like, how much time do you think you put in? Like, when
I
you
had no
really
idea.
think about, like, choices that you make between doing this or that, you pick, what did you pick? Did you pick art? Were you often, like, finding ways to be creative, whether it was painting or just...
It was everything. It would be if I couldn't sit still, my mom would whip out a piece of cardstock and here, draw on this.
Yeah.
You know, as a hyperactive child, it would calm me down and it would put me, it would give me something to put my soul into.
Right.
So that way I could really get an image out of my head, draw something, a little
Yeah.
flower. It'd be sometimes we'd be in a doctor's office and she would sit down, and my mother, I hardly ever saw her draw, but she would sit down and do a quick landscape, and it would be the most realistic thing I'd ever seen. So now I'm starstruck, thinking, "Oh my gosh, I could do that! I could do that!" So yeah, it from the beginning, it was I mean, it blew my mind that
Yeah.
it's something that you could do. But I realized that you have to put the time in, and you have to practice, and you have to love it for it to bloom.
Right. And the more you find ways, I think, to incorporate it into your life, the more you want to, the easier it gets. It can be intimidating to try new things, and I think it definitely helps to do that. So tell me about your business. Tell me about between I did it again.
It's okay.
Beneath Twisted Ferns.
Yes.
It's the twisted that confuses,
Yeah, I started it last year. It was actually the year before last in December, but I didn't really start taking off with it until January of last year. So this has been a little over a year now that I've been going with Beneath Twisted Ferns, and it's been a fantastic journey so far. My biggest thing is that throughout the year, I realized that I absolutely love being able to help other small businesses with painted windows. And I think it's just the coolest thing. I can go to them and, work with their budgets the best that I absolutely can, because being small it's really a struggle, and I completely understand that.
Right.
So being able to help them through my art stand out from bigger corporations and things like that, it's really amazing.
That is very
amazing.
much, you're speaking our language, because we are very much about small makers, small businesses, creating community around that and being able to help each other. Because it is hard to make a mark. It is hard to get noticed. It is hard to get started.
Yeah.
And so if we help each other out, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I think it's really important. And it's a lot of fun, too. I can just come in there and I get to have fun with them, and then just seeing their faces after we get some windows done for whoever it is, it completely changes everything. And sometimes I hear people say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even know this place was here," and they've been there for 6 months. So it's really a game changer for some people that they get all that attention, and then they finally get a bunch of people coming in, and it's really exciting.
Yeah,
it's really exciting.
I think that's really the part of the motivation for trying to encourage more creativity in our community, is that people don't necessarily make all the connections to why creative thinking helps you, why it helps your business, why it helps your town. When you have artists coming in and lending their imagination, you can solve problems. You can draw attention to things. You can do a lot of that, and it's really it's lovely to see more and more people connected together that can do that.
Yep.
So what is the favorite window painting you've ever done?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if I have a favorite. Every single one of them is really, really special, and the more color I get to play with, the more excited I'll be. But I don't know. I don't really think I have a favorite. Courtney's Cakes in Dixon was definitely a really fun one, because I used to do cakes, and me and her, we really got to be on the exact same page of color and cakes and what's fun and what's trendy and all that kinds of stuff. So that was a really, really fun one, and she had some perfect windows. It was all windows was her storefront. So it was a lot of fun. That was probably my favorite, I'd have to say.
Okay. So tell me what else you do with your business.
So other things that I do is I love going to events. In-person events are probably my favorite thing. Get to meet a lot of new people and get to just have all my art out in the open, enjoy warm weather when it's warm. Sometimes it's not.
Sometimes it's raining and cold, right?
Last year in Centerville, actually, we set up for the Heritage Day Festival, and I decided that it was a good idea to do live painting that day. And we got hit with a monsoon. We had already paid for the event months in advance, and that's the risk that you take with in-person events. Outdoors, sometimes the weather can be crazy. So we just decided we're going to do it. You know, if we get rained out, it'll be just fine. And not even 2 hours later, I had to put my painting in a trash bag. We had trash bags on us. We actually had a painting floating away at one point. So I'm stretched out, holding everything. I have my foot on a painting, trying to just hold everything that I possibly can. It was so much fun. That's part of it.
It is. Yeah,
I have a picture of me and my husband both with trash bag raincoats on. So we're just laughing in the car, and it was just the funniest thing. But it's events like that. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I love it so much, and get to just the people that you get to meet. Like, I wouldn't be here with you today if it wasn't for this business and just the leap of faith that I took a year ago. So I'm really glad to be doing that.
Yeah,
I'm glad to be here, and it's been really cool. I think everybody should do that thing you've been thinking about doing. Even if it's small, if you think, man, I want to get into painting, or I want to do this, you should definitely do it. Just try it. You'll be surprised.
Yeah. I don't think people realize just showing up and giving it a shot.
Yeah.
You get to meet people, whether you're showing up at an event like that, even if you're not the one setting up a booth, just walking around and being willing to have those conversations with people, you open up doors and new ideas. And for me, I didn't get back into art until I was in my 30s, and it really, you definitely should give it some time. Mm-hmm. You definitely should invest some time in the thing that you love, because it can turn into something like a business that, is it's a great story. So if you have any other advice for someone who is in that maybe hobbyist, they think that this is what they love, they're spending a little time on it, and their hope is to get to that point where they're ready to say, I'm all in.
I think it would just be baby steps. Just do it. Do the thing that's scary. If it's scary to you, it's probably a good direction to try to head down. That doesn't mean just full on jump. It doesn't mean like drop a bunch of money or anything crazy, but find somebody that has done it and just reach out to them, because they could point you in a direction that could just change your life.
Yeah.
And that could be with your job or just behind the scenes. It could change your hobby life, which that's life-saving. If you have something that makes you really happy, it can be life-saving.
It is. And as you said before about when you were a child, I mean, particularly with the creative arts, whether it's music, songwriting, writing, painting, the ability to express yourself, the ability to take those things and have a place for them to go, it is just, it's like therapy. It is just amazing to be able to do that. And I think people underestimate when you need a mental break, when you need something for your mental health. We turn to things that don't necessarily give us anything back. But if you turn to the arts for that, it gives you something that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
So that is fantastic. Well, Alexis is going to be here hopefully for the mini Comic-Con, right? You are coming for that. All right. So you will actually get to meet her if you come to that. That is on March 19th. Looking at Cheryl. March 19th, we're going to be here from 10 to 5, and it's going to be a small event for a Comic-Con type event, because we have a fairly small space for something like that, but we pack as much into it as we can. And one of the things that we love is, because it is a small venue, we get to really feature creative people. We get to really feature artists and makers that do lovely things like this right here, and these right here. And so you get a chance to come and to meet Alexis and some other people. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to have to talk about window painting, and we're already talking about murals, and we're talking about all kinds of stuff. So we're happy to have you here.
Well, thank you.
All right.
There. Done. Hey, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Michelle Murakami. I'm an artist.
I'm Karen Fox. I'm a photographer.
I am Cheryl Speed, a member of the Fairview Arts Council.
it is really important that you surround yourself with the kind of people that help you believe that you can do things.
My name is Aaron Graham, and I make art inspired by drawings I made when I was a kid.
Hi, my name is Jackie Nickler, and we're here in beautiful Bowie.
A town that reinvests in the arts is a town that is fully alive.
Fairview Arts Council at this very unique time. I've chosen to be outside on this beautiful Tennessee day. My name is Lee Crow, and I am with Crossroads Academy of the Arts.
I think we're all looking for a place to go. We're all looking for an outlet.
Hi, my name is Sabrina Edwards, and along with my husband Sid, we make stained glass.
Stop worrying about what isn't and start changing what is.
Go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm Susan Gully, and I've been in Fairview for close to 33 years now.
Hi. It's John and Lauren D'Amato. We have D'Amato Music School and Fairview Guitar.
Immediately jumped in because I needed to connect with artists. I was here by myself, no family, not knowing anybody, and that was the first thing that really was I got involved in when I got here to Fairview, and it's been really nice being a part of it and growing along with the organization. It's been an opportunity to make new friends and connect with other artists and of different types, everything from painters and people that draw and musicians and theater groups and everything. So that's made it a really nice combination and worthwhile being here in Fairview, that's for sure.
We're growing, we're changing, because we are trying to do something good. We are trying to create a community where people help each other and collaborate and teach and inspire and grow. We are trying to bring creative people together and raise the visibility of the arts.
Orange Crush 20 combo. It's got this speaker thing in here, an 8-inch speaker, so you can hear it. You can plug your guitar in there from here. You've got 2 channels, clean and dirty. Clean, dirty. Yeah, you've got treble, middle, bass, gain. Plug your headphones in here. Yeah.
Visit fairviewartscouncil.org to join our organization. If you click on My FAC, you can register or log in, and with that account you get a profile, you can make friends, join the conversation, get notifications, access to groups where you can join or start a group around your interests and organize with others in your area. You also get a directory listing where you can put links and information about who you are and what you do so that others can find you, hire you, or buy your work. You can shop to show your Fairview pride or support what we are doing. All right, we are back here for Fairview live stream. We have a little bit of chaos going on because we got such a late start, and we're gonna talk for just a little bit here since I have my good friend Karen Fox here.
Hi there.
Karen Fox Photography. We are very glad to have you. And we had all these things planned We had a whole conversation about what we were going to talk about, and then in the hour of trying to figure out how to get sound to work this morning, I think I totally forgot what we were going to talk about.
I'm trying to access my memory.
Your memory files.
I knew without my notebook sitting here.
Oh, I know what it was. I know what we were going to talk about. All right, so what you have a photography business, right? So that is why you're here. But we like talking about things that are tangential a little bit creatively.
Just a little.
And we thought it would be fun to have one of those conversations.
Yeah.
So you do several different things. I mean, you do a lot of different things, but the things that seem to be your wheelhouse are environmental portraiture, right? So you capture humans in the wild. So you go into someone's...
Some wilder than others, but...
You go into who somebody is. You take pictures that reflect them in their environment, which is great for businesses and brands if you are interested in that. And you have some really good examples of that with Brenda Boyd, who is has a consulting business. And so there are just these magical photos of her. And you were here last November talking with her about that. So that was fantastic.
Yep.
The other thing that you do, which is what we're going to talk about today, is you do photography, or how do I say that? Digital art that comes from photography, but by the time you're done with it, it's something else entirely.
Yeah.
Like it has some of them feel like portals. They feel like magical.
Yeah, it's more of a... I'm not always keen on calling things digital art because I think people get the wrong idea of what digital... I think digital kind of means to a lot of people that I just click a button and I make art, but that's really not the process. And I think now that more people... It's starting to become a little more mainstream. People understand that, there's a little bit more to it.
Right.
Then, click a button. And there are some apps out there that are pretty good at the whole click a button and make art thing, which I like those too. But, I like this idea of kind of impossible reality. That's the name for the Etsy store that I'm going to open eventually once we get. But I like to take... photos of mundane things. I have to say, like one of my coolest projects lately, that was just a thrill. There's a brand new car wash that just opened in Dixon. It's down off of Highway 70 there, right on the corner where Captain D's is.
Right.
And when you go through this car wash, it's like a disco inside. There's neon lights and things flashing, and the soap that they put on your car is in different colors. And you get through it fairly quickly. But I'm sitting there with my camera. Haley, my daughter, was with me. I'm sitting with my camera going, I have to get... And I'm snapping photos of the soap running down the windows and the flashing lights and the thing. And I have got this great, foundation for... I've got swirly arts. I've got some that looks like tie-dye that I've created because I shot photos in a car wash. And I know people think I'm insane sometimes when I'm like, why are you taking a picture of your straw wrapper on the table? I'm like, because I'm going to make something with it. But it's, and is the art saleable? I don't know. Maybe somebody loves it. Maybe they don't. But it feeds me.
Yeah.
It's something that I want to do. I have always liked to make things. And photography was always something that I loved. But back in the day, you had to send your film out, you had to wrap it up, it had to go to the processor. I never did get into developing my own film. I'd love to at some point in time, just because I'd like to know more about the process. But I was never that into it. I have always been a computer nerd. My very first computer was a Radio Shack TRS-80 Model 3 that had a cassette recorder that you could load basic programs with a cassette recorder.
Right. Wow.
So I've been around computers for a little while.
Yes.
But when I got a digital camera in my hand, and I realized digital files and computer and Photoshop, it was like, the light bulb went off.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess they say I don't want to say the rest is history because it's not history. It's present. It's
Right,
ongoing.
right.
But yeah, it has opened up a whole new avenue for me, that it was like these two things that finally kind of came together, and I don't
Yeah.
know. And I just, I love, like, working with Brenda has been really awesome, because like a lot of people, especially within the photography industry, I absolutely am on board with getting it right in camera. When you shoot, you want to get it right in camera. But I like to take it to the next step. And I want to
Right.
get that right in camera, but then I want to put it in my Photoshop and I want to do stuff to it.
Right.
And like Brenda will tell me, knock yourself out, have fun, go crazy, be magical. And I'm like, I love it. If a client tells me be magical, that
Yeah,
That's
I'm
my
already
favorite.
thinking about it. We've talked about doing some photos, and I'm already starting to think about that. I think it's an interesting point, though, that you want to do a thing, you start down that path, but that is not often the thing. You haven't found your thing yet, right? You start doing something because you're interested in it. You start doing something to try to experiment with it. You start trying to add that sort of thing to your life. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know that that's the thing you want to do. You just start moving in that direction, and then you begin to adjust, and new things open up. And Alexis just a little while ago was talking similarly. You go on this journey, and you learn about yourself, right?
Yeah, and I love that she mentioned, being able to do that, because it really is, and you touched on it too. A lot of people, oh, how do you do what you do? Or how do you do this? I do it because I've spent time doing it. I am not alone on an island.
Right.
There are other people who can do what I do.
Yeah.
But they won't do it like me, because
Right.
I'm me. And, so each of us has a voice that we should celebrate, that we should discover what it is. And I mean, and it's not just photography, but like, I'm a creative, like, it's just in my blood. I was born that way. If you and I are having a conversation on the phone, 9 times out of 10, there will be a doodle.
Same.
I can't sit still.
Yeah.
I discovered Zentangle a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And Zentangle is just like the best thing if you just really want to just sit. And all you need is a piece of paper and a pen. There's no, I know we talked the other day about, places like, I love you, Hobby Lobby, I love you, Michael's, but they're in business because so many people think, oh, I need all these supplies. I can't be creative unless I have all these supplies. You don't. You need a phone and a couple of apps, or you need a piece of paper and a pencil or a paintbrush.
Right. That was the tangent we got off on, was how much time do you need and how much do you have to spend to get from where you're starting to that place where where you think you want to go. And we give ourselves the excuse that we do not have enough time. We do not have the supplies. We don't have enough money, right? And none of that is ever true. It is never true. I got back into art at 35. When I had, actually it was more like 37 or 8 when I had my second child. So I guess I was 38 when I really got started to get serious about it. And so I had 10 to 15 minute increments that I could be sure I could sit there and do a thing. And I thought, I'm not getting any younger. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to, if I spend that 10 minutes on this thing, I will be 10 minutes further, 10 minutes further ahead. And it adds up.
I think that's a big one too, is a lot of people say, well, I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm too old to start something new. And that's not true.
Never.
There are so many people. One of the magazines that I get, Artists Magazine, every year they do what they call a senior art competition, and like all of these, it's 60 and old. I can't even join yet. So, but I think that we're all created to do something, and I think you have to. that discovery process is important. And I've seen one of the groups I follow out of Nashville. There is this woman. She doesn't sell them. She doesn't have a business, but she makes the most beautiful pies that I have ever seen. I'm thinking, how could you even eat them? Because they're so gorgeous. She makes the dough and beautiful. She creates flowers and birds and leaves, and it's just. And I'm thinking, so. Thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
You know, is it a pie? Do you want to make a pair of pants or crochet hats or paint? Or I'm lately obsessed with this acrylic paint pouring. I'm going to make that happen at some point. I'm going to get some paint and make a mess.
Yeah.
And it'll be awesome. Even if it doesn't look good at the end, it'll be awesome.
And it's, you know, don't be hard on yourself. We've had a lot of conversations over the last few years because we are specifically trying to bring people into our group that are from every possible, like, if you are creative and you are interested in creative things, whatever that is, we're interested in meeting you. And we have a lot of the conversations of, well, what is art? What is not art? What is good to do? What is not good to do? And I think people hesitate to try things because they're not sure if it's the right thing. And it's all worthwhile. You know, creative expression, getting your hands dirty. We talked about mud pies. Those things are it's worth doing.
Absolutely.
It is worth doing because it adds to who you are as a person, and it helps you figure out what matters to you. It helps you figure out what you love. And it's always, to me, worth investing. And you can start anywhere at any point at any age. We talk about that all the time.
Yep, and with really minimal material. I mean, even if you're interested in photography, I don't know many people that don't have a phone that doesn't have a camera on it.
Yeah.
You don't need thousands of dollars worth of a kit to start. Walk outside with your phone and, you know, shoot the flowers in your backyard. Or
you might need a fancy phone case. Can you get her phone case for me, please?
It's right there.
You might need a fancy phone case for your phone as you're taking your pictures, because
my fancy phone case. But I have to say, okay, so fancy phone case, $13.99 on Amazon.
Like, it's just the case. Like, that's the phone, and that's just amazing. It's hilarious.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, I saw it. I had to have it. Yeah, it's on Netflix. There's a series called Emily in Paris.
Oh,
and she's a blogger or vlogger, and she had it, and I was like, I need that. I'm not always, you know, I'm not a big shopper, but every now and again I'll see something that just really like, okay, I gotta have it.
Yes. Yeah.
But if it was, you know, $50, I wouldn't have it.
Right. But yeah, so it's good to talk to you again. We're going to have you here a lot. You're hopefully going to be here for the Mini Comic Con as well coming up.
Yep.
Hopefully showing off some of your fantastical artwork.
Yes, I'd like to. I need to print some things.
And we're co-conspiring on our little photo booth. So that's going to be a thing. So,
I had a lot of fun at Halloween.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Some of the costumes that came in at Halloween were just really awesome.
Yeah, if you're catching this and you're new to the group or new to our organization and you have not seen the Halloween photos, that I was just blown away because I'm sitting there. I am not a photographer. I'm pretty good at Photoshop, but I use Photoshop for art, not for photos. So I'm sitting there watching the photos be taken all day long on this just little backdrop there, and I just was not prepared for how just magical they turned out. They just really turned out beautiful. And so we're hoping to do some really fun stuff for the Mini Comic Con for people that choose to come in costume, hopefully. We're looking forward to that. And you can find Karen on Instagram. You can find her on Facebook. And her website is KarenFoxPhotography.com.
Yep. And it's Karen Fox Photo on the socials. So.
Okay.
And I'm not on Twitter because...
That's right.
I'm not a Twitter. Actually, I am a Twitter.
It's not necessarily the best place for visuals, but yeah. So you can find her there, and you can also come on March 19th and get to meet her as well. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Jill. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
There. Done. Hey, everyone.